Christmas. Are you ready to start? Yeah, I think we are, huh? Hey, those of you that are finding a seat, we've had some requests from some of the folks online. They'd like to be able to see you. So some of you, if you can, choose some seats closer to the front. Our online audience, sometimes they look at us and they think I'm the only one here. So. Well, good morning. Welcome to Unity of Fort Collins. So, we have some more people looking for seats. And those of you online, we also welcome you. There was a great multitude online, the Bible says. And so we appreciate you being here. And sometime if you have the capability or the opportunity, come down and see us in person. So I'm here, I'm Reverend Jim, and the reason I'm here is because our dear Ann Hudgens is going to present the message today. Aren't you looking forward to that? And we got Elise Wonder. Elise is going to present the music. So we're going to have a great day here at Unity of Fort Collins. We have a couple of announcements, just a couple. They cover a whole sheet here, so we're going to get through those, and then we'll get into our service. First of all, we're going to talk about the holiday market and spiritual book fair. And our own, here she comes, Leanne Gable is going to talk about it.
Okay. In fact, I'm going to make two announcements. This morning, we did pull off a Christmas miracle since we only had 1 week to recruit. After service today, if you're so inclined, you can just come down this little hallway. Part of the reason we do this every year is to encourage people to go get to know the rest of the building. So you can file down this aisle, this hallway, and go into the library, and there are some used books there that have been pulled out, and you're welcome to purchase those for a love offering, for a donation. And then you can move forward into the roomy room, and we have a whole bunch of wonderful homemade goodies. Lots of them are gluten-free, and those are marked. Everything looks really festive, has bows and labels, and so you can buy things for yourself or for guests who are coming to your house. And there's also some handcrafted items and some upcycled, recycled items. A lot of holiday stuff in there. Everything in the room is also for a love offering. And then you can move on into the office and bookstore, and we have a selection of new books for sale, and that includes a whole table of kids' books. So there's all that. So don't rush away, come shop. The other announcement I want to make real quick is about the year-end giving. We already had a pretty successful matching campaign in October of this year, but we also like to remind people at year end, it's a tradition for lots of folks to do their tax deductible gifts to 501c3s, and Unity has a core group of about, I don't know, it's about a half dozen people who have pledged $6,500, and we would like to see if we can double that with your additional year-end gifts. So all you have to do if you write a check or if you put cash in an envelope is just make a little note that says year-end giving. That's it for me. Thanks.
Thank you, Leanne. And we do claim you. You're one of us, right? Okay. Courtney.
Good morning. I am on the marketing team, and me and Nina have been working really hard to make sure that our Facebook page and our YouTube, account page all looks really good and is really current. So the big intention is that if there's an event, you can go to the Facebook page within that next week and see pictures of the event. Like if you've not seen the dancing that happened at the variety show, you better go check it out because it was really fun. Anyway, but we need your help in that. So first of all, I want you to check it out and see what you think. But both with the YouTube videos and any of the posts on Facebook, it really helps us to, if you like a post, if you share a post, if you comment on it. And, you know, we just have the most awesome community here. And it's time for that word to get out. So if you would just go check it out, see what you think, and then interact with those pages, that would be awesome. Thank you.
Courtney co-facilitates, co-leads the team that's the welcoming team also. So are there any first-time visitors here today? Any second-time visitors here today? Good. Okay. Okay. Well, welcome to Unity of Fort Collins, and there's a welcome packet, all kinds of wonderful information that you're going to want to get. Kimber Hawes, another one of our team leads, the outreach team. So,
good morning. I wanted to remind you that today is the last day that we'll be gathering donations for the Larimer Food Bank and also for the Reality Children in the hallway. And if you've forgotten you want to contribute, they also take, of course, monetary donations, and you could either give that directly to Julie or myself. I'll be gathering these donations and delivering them tomorrow. And then, as you can see on this little tree, this little tiny tree, Christmas tree with, what's his name? The dog, Red? Clifford is there. We are, that donation tree is going to be up through December 24th, Christmas Eve, and that is for Animal Friends Alliance. And each little ornament, paper ornament on the tree has a suggestion for a donation, and then there's, of course, a box below to donate to. Thank you very much.
thank you, Kimber. Next up is Reverend Sharon. And we got a special announcement for New Year's Eve, Christmas Eve.
I can't take him anywhere. I'm going to make sure you get here that night. So I have 3 parts left for the Christmas Eve service. And after this morning, after our service, I will be standing right over there. If you're interested in doing a part, you will be able to read it. Making a costume for yourself is entirely up to you. Next Sunday, right after service, we're going to run through it so you kind of know who you're going to follow and what's going to happen. If you're thinking, I'm not sure I'm going to go, you don't want to miss this. Amy Augustine and her family are doing the music, and it sounds amazing. I would call it a cantata, except we don't have a band behind them, but what we do have is just going to really set the spirit for you.
Well, thank you, Sharon. Hey, there's a couple of things that are being canceled. First of all, the council meeting. Ooh! Council meeting. No council meeting this month. And the second thing, there's no service here on Christmas Day. How's that for radical? We're moving it to Christmas Eve at 4 o'clock. So don't come down here knocking on the door on December 25th because there won't be many people here. Okay? Jammy time, yeah. Have time with your family. December 31st, we've had a request. An organization that would like for us to continue the tradition of having a, what do they call it here? Hour for peace. Happens early in the morning. Is there someone here that just wants to get up on that day and just come down here and help us facilitate that? 4 in the morning. Did you say that you want to come down here? Okay. 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 You got to be careful here. If you raise your hand, you might get enlisted. So, but we'll talk. Okay. Well, it's December 31st. All right. So we'd love to do that. We'd love to have that hour of peace here celebrated for the Fort Collins community. So if you're able to, that's a good thing. And then back there, have you seen all the quilts? Christmas quilts. Pat Atchison. Is Pat here? Pat? No, Pat's not here. I was going to introduce her. Well, are there any other things that we should note for this community? If not, let's just center ourselves in a moment of silence. So in this moment of silence, we just reach out to the world around us. Peace and blessing. And we bless those that are participating in our service today. So let's just state our unity blessing. Our unity centers us in light and peace, allowing us to recognize our God within and to radiate that love to the world. Elise Wunder.
Hi, everybody. Figured I'd kick us off with a little bit of a Christmas song. This is by John Gorka. Now I'm blanking on it for some reason. One second. I swear, sometimes I forget the words to my own songs. It's early, right? There we go. I heard the bells on Christmas Day, their old familiar carols play. Wild and sweet the words repeat, peace on earth, goodwill to men. Peace on earth, goodwill to men. And I thought now, as the day had come, the belfries of all Christendom rolled along the unbroken song of peace on earth, goodwill to men. Peace on earth, goodwill to men. And in despair I bowed my head. There is no peace on earth, I said, for hate is strong and it mocks the song of peace on earth, goodwill to men. Peace on earth, goodwill to men. And I thought now, as the day had come, the belfries of all Christendom rolled along the unbroken song, peace on earth, goodwill to men. Peace on earth, goodwill to men. I heard the bell on Christmas Day. God is not dead, nor does she sleep. The wrong shall fail, the right prevail. Of peace on earth, goodwill to men. Peace on earth, goodwill to men. Peace on earth, goodwill to men. Thank you.
Yeah, I do have some CDs for sale. So they're $10 each, and they're just right over here. If you like what you're hearing, I mean, that song wasn't on my CD, but yeah. Anyway.
Hear me? Okay. I have 3 poems I'd like to read because one is never enough. So, okay, and I'll take my glasses off. This first poem is by Thich Nhat Hanh. It's called Oneness. The moment I die, I will try to come back to you as quickly as possible. I promise it will not take long. Isn't it true? I am already with you as I die each moment. I come back to you in every moment. Just look. Feel my presence. If you want to cry, please cry, and know that I will cry with you. The tears you shed will heal us both. Your tears are mine. The earth I tread this morning transcends history. Spring and winter are both present in the moment. The young leaf and the dead leaf are really one. My feet touch deathlessness, and my feet are yours. Walk with me now. Let us enter the dimension of oneness and see the cherry tree blossom in winter. Why should we talk about death? I don't need to die to be back with you. And this next poem is by Lucille Clifton. The Lesson of the Falling Leaves. The leaves believe such letting go is love. Such love is faith. Such faith is grace. Such grace is God. I agree with the leaves. And last is a poem by Alberto Rios. When giving is all we have, one river gives its journey to the next. We give because someone gave to us. We give because nobody gave to us. We give because giving has changed us. We give because giving could have changed us. We have been better for it. We have been wounded by it. Giving has many faces. It is loud and quiet, big, though small, diamond in wood nails. Its story is old, the plot worn, and the pages too. But we read this book anyway, over and again. Giving is, first and every time, hand to hand, mine to yours, yours to mine. You gave me blue and I gave you yellow. Together we are simple green. You gave me what you did not have, and I gave you what I had to give. Together we made something greater from the difference.
Those were beautiful poems. Thank you so much. This is a song written by myself. It's called Tin Can Man.
Walking downtown and I'm feeling low. Standing on the corner, don't know which way to go. And there's a bum down beside, he's a strumming his guitar. I'm dropping change in his tin can, and oh, bless my soul, you can't take it with you when you go. Trudging through the Everglades in the dead of night, pushing up ahead, there's a fire burning bright. And it's a cold, cruel world till you get there, to find they've been waiting just for you all along. And oh, bless my soul, you can't quit when you gotta go. I see the dead of night coming to an end. I see the morning light opening her tired eyes. I see the dead of night coming to an end, Lord. I see the morning light opening her tired eyes, opening her tired eyes. I'm walking downtown and I'm feeling low, stepping on the cracks in the middle of the road. I get there, I get there. I get there. I get there.
Thank you so much.
You sing so beautifully. Oh, good morning, friends. Yay. Last week, Jim called us all spiritual friends. And this is so much easier knowing that I'm among my spiritual friends. So I have a tale of 3 stories. My sweet mother-in-law's story, my story, my mother's story, my family's story. Hey, it's more than 3. I keep going. So, a few months ago, there was an opening on December 11th for a speaker, and Jim and Sharon and I were sitting around, and I think Sharon said, "I think you're the speaker on December 11th." And I'm like, "Huh, really?" And then she said, "Yeah, you're the speaker." And it follows. There's lots of good reasons today that I'm the speaker. Some of you remember my dear mother-in-law, Moina, who joined us in the wheelchair here. And Robert and I had the gift of taking care of Moina in the last 6 months of her life. And we didn't know what journey we were on, but we surely were on one. So I want to talk about life and death. It seems kind of funny to talk about death right before Christmas, but it's birthing, leaving, reborn, all of those kinds of things. That's part of what's happening at this time of year. And today, December 11th, is also the anniversary of my own mother's suicide on December 11th, 1974. So the difference between how these two women left my life are pretty remarkable. So I want to kind of tell the stories of that. But I want you to know Moina just a little bit. I'm wearing Moina's jacket and her blouse and her shoes. So I'm walking in Moina's shoes for a minute today. Moina was a girly girl, and she was always put together. She left us at 98, but she was impeccable in so many ways. And I was a mystery to her, kind of the tomboy. She admired me and respected me, but she didn't, I was a mystery. So I think she would like it that I was wearing her clothes today. When I gave birth for the first time, I had an experience. All of us know kids. I like kids. I loved kids. I knew I wanted to be a mom. But I had no idea what would happen to me when I became part of the community of mothers. It's unbelievable that we all get here the same way. Oh my gosh. It's crazy. But the thing that it doesn't prepare you for, nothing prepares you for, is how much you will love these little souls. Love as big as the universe. God's love, full love, unconditional love. So I was changed forever when I joined the community of mothers. And I have a similar sense of having joined the community of caregivers for our elders who have passed in a different way. And I look out at the audience, friends, and I have joined many of your company. Ginny was a mentor, Kelly, Nina, who's not here, but I had lots of conversations with people who said, oh yes, we cared for my aging parent. And I had the feelings of support, but I didn't get it until it was us who had the gift, the blessing, the privilege, the difficulty, the torment, the fear, the drama, all of the things that come with entering a phase of caregiving that nothing prepares you for. You don't know what you don't know, and then you're just in it. So, retrospect is an amazing thing. When you're in it, nothing seems expansive. You're just putting a foot in front of the other. But I have a sister who is my oldest sister who called after Moina passed on November 3rd. And it was the first day of snow this season, which was very symbolic. And she joined us when the blossoms were on the trees. So we had her from spring through the end of fall. So symbolic. My sister called and said, "Hey, Anne, what were the spiritual lessons?" And I trust that's exactly what my sister would say. What are the spiritual lessons? Because you want to sort of practice the chronology of this happened and then this happened and then this happened. But really what is left is, what are those spiritual lessons? And oh my goodness, I am filled with these spiritual lessons. So Moina lived a gracious and beautiful life. She lived 98 years. She's the epitome of a life well lived. A person who was raised by a fearful and anxious mother, who raised 4 boys and did adventures beyond measure, even though she was always scared. She did it anyway. So that's a spiritual lesson. You can be scared, but you can do it anyway. And she did. She was deep and kind. She made friends all over the world. But I think the thing that matters most to me in the juxtaposition of the two families is she left with no unfinished business. Not a darn thing. Nobody with a resentment, nobody angry, no things that she should have made amends for. Nothing. She left the world a better place. Peaceful, loving, amazing. So, at first I was sort of thinking, well, that's the way people are supposed to die. And actually, there is no such thing as how people are supposed to die. We just do it. And you do it how you do it. But in my family, people did it complicated. We were complicated. So when my mom committed suicide, she left us torn, confused, angry, regretful, sad, grieving. Wounds that have taken 50 years to come to terms with. And the work, the spiritual healing, is my own because she's not here to help with it. I had to come to terms with it. And the loss of a mom is a terrible thing. It's terrible at 98, but it's really bad at 19. That's the time when you want somebody to be steady while you push off. And it's like being in a swimming pool. You need the wall to do your flip turn and push off so you can head into adult life. There was no place to push off for me. I was just needing to keep swimming. But Moina loved people. She loved her kids. She loved me. She took me maternity clothes shopping when I was pregnant and I was big as a barn. And she just said, "Oh, I'll be your mom." And so I could never quite let her be that, but I could let her be the best mother-in-law ever. So I've taken lessons, and I hope to provide that to my kids' partners when they partner. I had a model about how to love unconditionally, and I'm grateful for that. I used to sort of think that it was scary to get really old, that dementia was a terrible thing. And I sort of had a thought that it would be good to go out on top of your game. But actually, no. There's a cycle to this where as she aged, we talk a lot about living in the present, but we don't, because our minds almost won't let us. But when you have dementia, it does let you live in the present. My sweet Moina, from spring to fall, had experiences that everything was the best it could be. The aspen tree out my front porch was the prettiest aspen tree she ever saw. My daughter and I planted flowers in our pots out the front door, and she watched them grow. And we planted, as you do, you plant multiple types of flowers in a pot, which was utterly confusing to her as she was watching them, and she was just marveling at how they seemed to skip around and have different colors and things like that. But boy, did she love them. She loved watching those flowers. We had a leak in our irrigation system, so our rose bushes were the best. They were the best they ever were, and Moina loved them, loved those roses. Oh my goodness, it was just something. So everything was magic to her. Robert loves the song Everything's Holy Now. And Moina was living that. Everything's holy now. The salt on her food, she loved. I've never tasted salt this good. Everything was a superlative. Everything was amazing to her. And so the wonder of dementia was that she was freed from the things having to be factual or linear, or so there's a gift to that. So I don't want dementia, but I'm not scared of it anymore. It's not a terrible thing. There's sort of a childlike delight. And she did not get mean or angry. She just got sweeter and sweeter. In the days before she died, actually in that 6 months, when she first came to live with us, Robert's goal was to get her back to where she was, because she lived independently until she was 98. And we didn't know that she was dying, that was where she was headed. But pretty soon, life happens on life's terms. That it doesn't matter what our goal was. Moina's finishing her life. And when we got a hold of that in our minds, it was a wonder to watch it happen. So there's a hospice has a little blue book, which was really helpful to me. So it describes the stages, and I'd look at it and think, dang, that's where she is. We're on page 3 here. This is what's happening. So it's, but in my world, nobody, it wasn't, people didn't do it according to the book. There was just a lot of pain associated with it. So Moina kind of did it by the book, and she started going to sleep, and she'd pop up and greet people and love people as they came in. She wanted kisses. She told our daughter she was proud of her upcoming graduation. She popped up kind of beautifully to say the right thing in a minute, and then back down she'd go. She loved chocolate. And Robert broke up a little Lindor truffle several days into her big sleep, and he poked some chocolate in her mouth. And I was a little horrified because she wasn't really present. And then I thought, I do not have to be the chocolate police. And her tongue was thick, and she hadn't eaten or had anything to drink. And she tasted this chocolate on her tongue, and she came up just sort of, and she said thickly, "I love this." It was the last thing she ate, a taste of chocolate, and she loved it. So, how incredibly sweet to be the person that goes so graciously, for us to have had the honor to be present with her as she left. And I love, love, love the quote on the front, and thank you, Claire, for this, that the moment I die, I will try to come back to you as quickly as possible. I promise it will not take long. She has not left us. The other thing that I think is so funny is that she was a devout Methodist for her entire life. And at the end, we would, actually before the end, she and I would have conversations about where her husband was and where her son, who had passed earlier, was. And we would just have curious conversations. I'm so curious. Aren't you curious about what that's going to be? And there were times when we tried to talk with her about Jesus or about God or those kinds of things. But you know what? Even as a lifelong Methodist, she wasn't really having it. And Robert called her a social Methodist. So I think what mattered to her, and we were thinking, and you see obituaries and things where they say, well, they're going to go be with the Lord. And I don't think that's what Moina thought. I think she said, I'm going to go be with Tom, and I'm going to go be with Bill. But her church, her spiritual lesson, was what Jim was talking about last week, that my church is my friends, my spiritual community, and I have no idea what's going to happen when I pass. I hope to pass graciously. But what matters were the relationships. That's what matters. So in my own journey, it's been a lifetime of healing. What are the spiritual lessons? My relationship with my dad was very, very strained. And in my family, you had to choose up sides. There were good guys and bad guys. 5 kids, part of us aligned with the mom, part of us aligned with the dad. Alcoholism, sexual abuse, infidelity, domestic violence, all kinds of things. And the kids didn't get to join because we were aligned one way or the other. So the healing journey between me and my older sister was the healing of my mom and dad's relationship. She was aligned with my dad. I was aligned with my mom. And as soon as we realized that we're flip sides of the same coin, that we're not different or separate, that healing of coming together, that the healing can happen. And we don't have to believe the stories of who are the good guys and who are the bad guys, because there's no such thing. Everybody's bozos on the bus. We're all trying to figure it out. But the spiritual lessons from having grown up in my family are that healing happens. You can make different choices. All is well. You can choose to be a different person. You can create the family you want. Reparenting is possible. And they don't have to have changed in order for me to be okay. I can get there myself with the help of my God and my family and my spiritual community. I can get there. I have. So I will leave here better. The growth in we're not leaving the kind of trauma in our family that I grew up in. And we haven't done it perfectly. And it's nice to know that healing can happen in those ways. So I'm grateful to my mother, who I adored, who left. It's almost 50 years ago. Almost 50 years. And I'm grateful for the love of her. I'm grateful for my dad, who taught me the lesson of getting curious about what happened to you rather than what's wrong with you. That was the spiritual lesson. I needed to know what happened to that guy. What happened to him? And at the time of his death, there was nothing left but love from me to him. That's a spiritual lesson. Nothing left but love. Well, thank you for indulging my meanderings. I celebrate Moina. I celebrate Mary. I celebrate Chuck. I celebrate Chip. And all those who have passed, some uncomplicated, some complicated. Blessings to those who have come before. Thank you.
I can't play the piano. But I'll give you your first note. Our thoughts are prayers, and we are always praying. Our thoughts are prayers. Listen to what you're saying. Seek a higher consciousness, a state of peacefulness, and know that God is everywhere, and every thought's indeed a prayer.
Let me have you join me in a meditation. Take a couple of big, deep breaths. And I want you to put someone or someone's in your mind's eye who have gone before. And give yourself a moment just to ponder. What are the spiritual lessons? What are the gifts that I received from this person being in my life? Complicated or uncomplicated? And as I move forward in my spiritual journey, what are the ways that I can incorporate the gifts or lessons and to share those with the people that I love, or to heal myself from the burdens of those difficulties? To be the person who takes those spiritual lessons and creates the alchemy that brings them into our hearts and allows us to become the love, the change, the gift that gets radiated back to the world. And I imagine myself, whenever it is, as I pass through whatever veil that is, to aspire to the place where I have left no unfinished business. I've healed anger. There's nothing left unsaid. I have no regrets, and no one needs to do their work to heal from the wounds that I've left. Amen.
I'll give you the same note. May the blessings of God rest upon me. May God's peace abide in me. May God's presence illuminate my heart now and forevermore. May the blessings of God rest upon you. May God's peace abide in you. May God's presence illuminate your heart now and forevermore. May the blessings of God rest upon us. May God's peace abide in us. May God's presence illuminate our hearts now and forevermore. Now and forevermore.
Well, thank you, Gerald, for playing that piano so well. And Anne, that was absolutely astounding. Thank you. Anne is just one example of the spiritual leaders within this community. So many of you step up and share your stories and are here day after day and make this place the beautiful, wonderful place it is. So thank you. Thank you. So we're going to have our ushers come forward for our offering. And I'd encourage you, whether you're online or here in person, help us support this community with your tithes and offerings and love and everything else it takes to make this place go. So on our screen, we have our offering blessing. Together, divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, God. Elise Wonder again.
Please join along with if you feel so inclined. When I find myself in times of trouble, Mother Mary comes to me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be. And in my hour of darkness, she is standing right in front of me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be. Let it be. Let it be, let it be, yeah, let it be. Winking words of wisdom, let it be. And when the broken-hearted people living in this world agree, there will be an answer, let it be. For though they may be parted, there is still a chance that they will see. There will be an answer, let it be. Let it be, let it be, let it be, yeah, let it be. Whisper words of wisdom, let it be. I wake up to the sound of music, Mother Mary comes to me. Wicked words of wisdom, let it be. To the sound of people living in this world agree, there will be an answer, let it be. Let it be, let it be, let it be, yeah, let it be. Whisper words of wisdom, let it be. One more time. Let it be, let it be, let it be, yeah, let it be. There will be an answer, let it be. Thanks so much. Thank you, Jim.
And thank you, Elise. There's CDs available for her music so you can take Elise with you home. How do you like that? Hey, I've got a personal question. How many of you have birthdays during December? How many? Yeah. Come on up here. Come on up here. We want to sing to you, okay? And I need Gerald's help again, I think. Come on up. So, what day during December is your birthday? Can you share that? Wow.
December 22nd. Do you want me to play guitar for happy birthday? Or are you fine?
Sure.
You can just
Sure. No.
Okay, well, happy birthday.
I'm getting professional help.
I can figure this one out on the spot. Are we all set? All right. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Ellen. Happy birthday to you.
Yes, happy birthday. You know, I have goofed several times recently. I said, there's no children here. Well, there's always children back there. And so let's have them come forward and see what they have to say.
I'm gonna let it shine.
Well, would one or more of you like to share?
Today we talked about equality for all, and I have a Lego village, and it doesn't matter whose side they're on, they're just a village.
No. Okay. Well, you can go and find your parents then. And thank you for being here. So what's happening after the service? So everyone needs to exit that way, okay? And we also have a lunch bunch that's meeting together for lunch, the rainbow. Okay, we got a lot going on, and so as we gather together in a circle, let's go ahead and do that, and we'll have the peace song, prayer protection.
Yeah, at least eventually you can learn these. Yeah. Right.
Okay, together, the prayer protection. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The peace of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.
Yes, there is peace on earth, and yes, it begins